Hi, good morning and good evening, everyone. This is our third session. These sessions are meant for MSc, PhD students who aspiring for abroad opportunities, both in the MS level or PhD level, and also PDF level. So we have about 20 mentors in our group. Most of them are from US, and some of experts from India also are in our mentors group. And in our students group, we have about 270 people. It itself indicates there is a lot of interest. And when I collected, requested them for their profiles, I think there are about 40 people responded out of 270, and most of them, they don't know the process. None of them had any TOEFL or GRE or IELTS. So this session is mainly dedicated to learn that process, and Srinivas will guide and present the discussion. And first, I will request Dr. Arun to introduce himself, since it is the first time he is coming to these sessions. Please go ahead, Arun.
Thanks, Ravianna. I'm happy to be a part of this WhatsApp group for many reasons because I can directly get connected with it. I did my bachelor degree from Nizam College, Osmania University. It was like the first time they introduced electronics group in Osmania University at undergraduate level in BSc kind of stuff. So I was the first student when the semester system got started and electronics was introduced. From there on, I moved to Banaras in the university for my master's in physics. And then I got very much interested into the way the research was being conducted at Banaras in the university. And I wanted to do something where my condensed matter physics knowledge could be applied. So I applied my condensed matter physics knowledge and then try to address the problems in neutrino physics and dark matter physics by developing radiation detectors. So it was having my electronics background, my condensed matter physics background, and everything was assembled together. Here is a small twist. I'm going in a little bit details because my journey is completely different and everyone's journey is different. So the thing that happened was Banaras University started a collaboration with a research institute in Taiwan. It is called as Institute of Physics Academia Sinica. So BHU signed a memorandum with them, and I got selected under that memorandum to be a first exchange student from the university. So I went as an exchange student there, and every day was like an interview with me with the supervisors there, and the amount of work was done was huge. I mean, I'm not trying to disregard the work I used to do at Banaras University, but the progress we made in 1 year could be easily substituted with 2 to 3 years of hard work that we will generally do. I would generally do at Banaras University, maybe because of the facilities or the support that you have is tremendous. So that motivated me, and I became a full-time PhD student, enrolled at Banaras University, but work to be done at Institute of Physics in Taiwan. I regularly used to go to a nuclear power plant and then install germanium detectors and study how a nuclear reactor can be used for uh, for the development of human beings. And that has been one of the criteria where I was immediately seeing the impact of my research work, apart from the other basic research that I was conducting on neutrino physics and dark matter physics. Then I did my postdoctoral fellowship at the same institute, and I thought like I need to change. And then I came to United States of America in the year 2016 as a postdoctoral fellow, and continued my research in experimental neutrino and dark matter physics. Now I am a research assistant professor at Drexel University, and continuing the studies there. And recently, I got a couple of awards to mentor undergraduate students who are enrolled at Drexel University, and I was able to do justice to that mentorship. And when Ravianna told me about this kind of a program where things are like students like me who were looking and who have aspirations to do research, so I immediately got involved into this activity. And I hope that anybody on physics who would like to get some information from me, I would be very much happy to help. And that's a brief introduction about me. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Arun. We have another mentor, new mentor here, Sanjay.
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yes, yes, Sanjay.
Hi, thanks for that. Uh, so I'm Sanjay Tellu. I'm a chemist. I work as a staff scientist at National Institute of Mental Health. My research is involved in developing petri traces for evaluating or assisting drug development of neuropsychiatric disorders. So our work mostly involves in the medicinal chemistry and biology interface, as well as radiochemistry. We work with short half-life radioisotopes like carbon-11 and F19, F18. So yes, in my current role, I've been mentoring so many postdocs each year, and very active research program. And I would like to help anybody who is interested in this new field of molecular imaging, and it's an exciting field. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Sanjay. Actually, I started matching some students to mentors based on the common interest. I am posting mentors' interest in the students group, and students are asking me to connect, and I am passing your information to them. So please talk to them, and then let me know whom you are mentoring from this group, so that I can make a list who is mentoring who, and how is the progress. Now I have one more mentor here, Dr. Srikant. Professor Srikant.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, please introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Can all of you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. Hi. I've been introduced by Dr. Prashanti from Hyderabad.
Very nice.
A little bit story. Maybe it's quite inspiring, maybe motivating from others. So therefore, I'm here. I come from Suryapet, so now it is district after Telangana. I came to Germany in 1999 for doing master in horticulture. So I studied my agriculture in Bachelors in Parbhani, Marathwada Agricultural University, and I worked for 9 months. That time Chandrababu Naidu started I was working as a horticulture officer, and I thought, no, I will not fit here. I have to go to foreign to do my higher studies. So somehow that time there was no proper internet connection in 1999. Used to have a dial-up connection in Suryapet. Was very working hard to get a connection to see what we need to surf on. And then I got some of the information, tried to explore the Germany, just because that we're very poor that time. And then tuition fees in Germany are free. Education is free. Of course, I got admission to America, Canada, Australia, but tuition fees are very high, so not affordable. So I choose Germany. So that time my impression to Germany was a little bit outside. I think all of you know, but somehow I dared to come, and then started to explore the Germany, and realized that fantastic opportunities. So I did my master's in international agricultural sciences for 2.5 years. Education is quite different, pretty hard, but somehow managed. And then somehow I didn't like so much about this agriculture and horticulture. And then I moved to PhD in medicine. So there is an opportunity. Somehow I managed to get a PhD. I did my PhD in anatomy, especially in a medical cell biology. It took very hard work for 5.5 years. Somehow I managed to get my very good degree, excellent degree in PhD. And I got an opportunity to teach the anatomy for medical students. Of course, all of you know that Germany, of course, German language is very difficult. And surviving is a kind of a fit test. Those who wants to survive there, at the times, now things are quite rapidly changed. You need to learn the language. And I got a very good opportunity to teach the anatomy. And the most hard and hated subject of medicine is anatomy, because it's very dry, and people won't like to learn because there is no logic behind, like physiology or chemistry, something else. It's a dry subject. but you need to make it attractive. And I learned medicine, especially anatomy, after my PhD, another 4.5 years. And I started to teach anatomy for 6.5 years. And there is an exam called kind of specialist or faculty, you can say MD, what we call in after MBBS, you do MD in India. It's a similar type of the person who does a teaching for more than 6.5 years. They have a possibility to get a national certification from the Anatomy Society. So I did that. And then I also did for the teaching experience competence. And then fortunately, a first, you can say Indian or a Telugu guy have a professorship in Germany in comparison to all other Indians. I'm happy that I could able to achieve that part. The only triggering or motivation for you is that you can shift from your field anytime, any direction, as long as you have a drive. No, you want to choose something. So I can put in 2 lines how I put into my career, and also I'm doing a lot of counseling for many Indians. That's why I'm also here now, a little bit in the direction. I came in 1999. In 10 years, I understood that I want to be a professor, and then I finished my PhD in 2009. It took me exactly 10 years, going through all those. From the 2009, I finished my PhD, and then I decided I want to be a professor. It took me again the 9 years. So it is 18 years of hard work, but somehow achieved, and I'm a full professor. Of course, I got so many awards. I do a lot of research in different directions, and I'm very happy. So we also run, not only just apart from the career point of view, but also we run a lot of NGOs, like kind of organizations, where we involve and also help other Indians, and also brought so many Indians to Germany. And again, one word about Germany. There are thousands of opportunities to there. I think many people are coming now. I think I'm the first batch after the German Chancellor Schroeder came to India that we want Indians to be German. And that time I was there as a student. And now system is much more simplified and very easy to get into a permanent citizenship, job, and everything is very easy. Now, recently, last 6 months, they were discussing in the parliament that they wanted to also introduce immigration, like Canada, point system, because I can tell very openly, we don't have young people. As Modi is saying, we have 60% young people. In Germany, we have 80% old people. We have only 20%. Yeah, so we need very young people, talented people, and everybody knows that Indians are very hardworking, and of course, talented, and also very flexible. So a lot of opportunities. The question is how you can come. Yeah. So before it was the case that it's very difficult to come to Germany because of language. They cannot fit. They might fly to English-speaking countries such as England, Australia, or Canada. But now things has rapidly changed so much. It's quite surprising for me as well. You don't need German. Everywhere English is working. But the trick for success is if you know the language, you're the king. That's it. Because we have a wonderful talent, hardworking, flexible, and honest. Just into that, if you have a language, nobody cannot beat Indians. So there are much more possibilities. And I think last 5 years, DAAD is a German academic exchange. There is a wonderful opportunity. Many Indians are coming for the PhD. They sponsor 3-year PhD sponsorship. And also there are new DAD exchange programs are coming up now. I think at the moment 2 are going on. I mean, some PAs are already contacting me for their PhD students to come. And for the postdoc also a lot of opportunities. So one thing is just we have every 40 kilometers, we have a university here, every 40 kilometers. So there are thousands of departments and a lot of scope here. You need to hook up, you need to want to have a drive, just please come to Germany. Once you come here, you'll not go back. Yeah.
That's a great introduction. Thank you very much, Srikant. And actually, we will dedicate one session for learning more opportunities in Germany. In next couple of weeks, let's dedicate one session for that. And please give us an opportunity to learn more about opportunities there. Okay. And
Yeah,
now
sounds good.
we will start the actual session with our presenter. And before that, I just want to recognize the other mentors who are here. Mahinder from Boston, who is entrepreneur, and Venkat Raman from Philadelphia, who recently started a company here. We have Sri from GSK here. Sorry, not GSK, but he's earlier in GSK, but he one of the mentor. And I see uh, uh, Bhaskar from CSR Lab, Dehradun. Who else is there? Ram from Geetam University, Prashanti from Mahatma Gandhi University, Shuchi Tiwari from Engineering College faculty. If I missed any, Aravind, postdoc from Wayne State University, a mentor. Now I request Srinivas to start the session, and once he make his presentation, we will have discussion. Yeah, go ahead, Srinivas.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ravi Garu, for organizing this meeting. It's really helpful for the students. So I'll start with the presentation.
Have it right? Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes. Very good. Excellent. I request everyone to mute yourself, please.
Ravi, can you mute all once?
Yes, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah.
So, my name is Srinivas. I come from Warangal. I did my bachelor's in pharmacy. So basically, I'm a pharmacist from the Pularadi College of Pharmacy at University of Osmania University. And then I did my master's in medicinal chemistry at Vellore Institute of Technology. Then I joined PhD at Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, Hyderabad, IICT, with the Professor Srivari Chandrasekhar. He's former director of IICT, but I quit my PhD because my boss told to quit the PhD because he said it's good to abroad for doing PhD in pharmacy, so it's no longer useful to do PhD in IICT Hyderabad because my goals were different, and I'm in the wrong place actually. I was in the wrong place, so I don't know what to do immediately when my boss told to quit the PhD. So he's no longer supporting my fellowship at the time. So I was wondering, like I've seen like many CVs nowadays the students are sending. I was going through those CVs. I saw my CV. I remember my CV in 2009. It's like most of the CVs, not most, none of the CVs, or they met the admission requirements with the current situations at the universities. So we might have a session on the CVs, but basically people who wants to go to abroad, first you need to think like you are going to say like in any English speaking countries, English language requirement is compulsory. So most of the people are not recognizing that thing. So I'll talk about that one later. So, and then I did my PhD in Australia at the University of Queensland. My major was medicinal chemistry and biomolecular chemistry, where I was involved in designing and like do lots of molecular modeling studies, then synthesize the molecules and test them in animals and in cell studies. So that time I got the opportunity to work at different institutions like National Institute of Singapore and Melbourne University in Australia. So become a multidisciplinary person where I was started as a pharmacist, and then I've been into chemistry, I've been into biology, lots of cell biology, lots of animal studies. So I was everywhere. And then moved as a postdoc to Simon Fraser Institute in Canada. Worked as a postdoc for 5 years. And right now I'm working as a senior scientist at Mesentech Pharmaceuticals. So Mesentech is a startup pharma. We actually have only 2 people working for the company. Right now it doesn't have any physical location. So we were working at a university, a facility. We do lots of medicinal chemistry, basically, and then we do biology, radioisotope chemistry, and pharmacokinetics. So going to abroad for a PhD is a dream. I know most of the master students like it, but I don't know. People are like, when I talk to some people, say that you can save a lot of money when doing a PhD. It's not true. It's very hard to survive as a PhD student with the inflation right now. So you need to go through the requirements and fees and tuition fees and the fellowships in detail before going to send a resume to someone else. When I talked to some people, they said they're just sending emails to everybody as they need PhD. I need PhD. Do you have any positions? So the way they're contacting is is not it's not useful. So you need to know about different countries and their admission process. I don't know about each and every country, but I know how the admission process works in Canada and also in Australia, because I was a student there. Right now I'm working in Canada. So I'll go through this. I have only 2 slides, so I don't have too many slides to bother you. So number 1, the Australian PhD. So usually most of the PhD programs in Australia runs for 3 to 4 years. So they never stretch you behind 4 years, because the government is very strict on funding. They provide you fellowships only for the 3.5 years, and then another 6 months is for the extension, only if you show them as you are writing your thesis. That's very good for the students, because the professors can't delay your PhD. It's kind of deemed approval of your PhD if you able to clear all the interviews at the end of 3 years. So what you need to know before going to Australia, so you need to first check with the universities in the websites. What are the entry requirements, first of all? So here is the process. So you need to check the entry requirements. So if you are eligible, then you need to approach a supervisor, a potential supervisor. If supervisor says yes, then only you can able to apply for the course. Then you will apply. At the same time, the PhD application also involves the scholarship application. So we launched 2 applications. If you get admission, you will definitely get the scholarship. If you don't get the admission, you won't get the scholarship. So basically, one thing you need to know is just you need to be eligible to apply for that PhD program. And then finding supervisor is very easy in Australia, because they don't have many people. So most of the people, they stop after bachelor's. No one is interested to do PhD over there. And the two Australians are very lazy at study. So most of the PhD students in Australia are Indians. So when I was doing my PhD, in our group, we have like 12 people. Out of the 12 people are Indians. So PhD opportunity in Australia for Indians is like, it's very easy process, I would say. And also in Australia, yeah, the tuition fees are very high, but most of the scholarships, it's covered. So all the fellowships, they cover the tuition fees and living allowances. And the minimum scholarship for the living allowance in Australia is now $2,600. So that's enough to live happily with your family, even if you're married and you've got kids. So that's about Australia. Now, I would go through a case study. So how to get in to a PhD in Australia later. And now I'm going to discuss about a Canadian PhD. It's like 5 to 6 years, it says in the website. But right now I'm in Canada. I've seen a lot of people doing PhD for 10 years. So it's horrible, especially in chemistry department. People are 7, 8 years, 9 years with no fellowships, and you have to do your TA, work as a teaching assistant to get some money to live. So fellowships are there in Canada, but those fellowships are only for the permanent residents and Canadians, not for the international students. So keep in mind, if you are applying for a PhD in Canada, so while you're doing PhD, you have to work as a teaching assistant to survive in Canada. So there are no any fixed fellowships. So most of the fellowships are for the Canadians. So here the process is quite different from Australia. So you're not supposed to find a potential supervisor. You don't need to worry about that. You just need to apply to the university straight away. And to that, you need to be an eligible person with all the requirements. So what are the requirements? We'll go through the case study. And once your application is accepted at the university, then university will send you the list of professors who got the positions vacancy in their labs. Then you need to contact them and have an interview. They will usually do the interview. Then you will find out the supervisor. And scholarships, regarding scholarships, I told you already. So there are no money scholarships for the international students. You need to do work as a teaching assistant. So that's about Canada. And next, we'll do the case study. So before going to case study, so make Google or any search engine as your best friend, because a lot of people like suddenly message. I mean, I'm in different groups so far. So people ask me like silly questions, but don't ask silly questions to everyone. You can just Google it. And you can find a lot of people on LinkedIn if you want. But, better search everything in Google, you can find out. Okay. So now, so go to Google and ask something. Okay. Let's go there. Okay. Are you able to see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. So what I type in Google, okay, instead of Queensland PhD application. Okay. Just click that. And you see the Doctor of Philosophy program here. You'll see the overview about the program. And then you need to basically go and select a domestic or international student. So basically you go and select the international student. Once you go there, see the entry requirements. What are the entry requirements? Basically, In Australia, you'll see these are 3 common entry requirements. One is you must have a research experience. Here, the research experience, why they need a research experience here, because the problem with the Indian degrees, most of the common bachelor degrees are 3 years courses. And they do not have any coursework, any practical work after that. And even masters, they don't do any coursework after the masters. It's 2 years fully course, only reading and writing the exams. They don't have any practical knowledge. So for that reason, they usually ask for some research experience after your master's to get in a PhD. And then approved university degree, that's basically you will have that one. I can understand that. The third one is the English language requirement. So third one, I'm sorry. So the third one is English language requirement. So most of the CVs lack that one. So if you don't have an English language test already written, so you're no longer eligible to apply PhD programs in Australia. So if you go to the English language requirements, so each university, they got their own minimum scores for the requirement. Sorry, just a minute, I'll come back. Sorry guys, it's early morning.
It's okay, Srinivas, don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah, my kids just woke up and
That's okay.
they just want my laptop. So you need to go through these English language requirements. So most of the PhD programs, they basically need a 6.5 overall score, 6 band in each score, except some clinical programs. Clinical programs, especially in medicine and dental and in pharmacy, they'll ask 7 band. So basically what I want to say is, if you have a good score in English, that is above 6.5 or 6.5, you're done. You're ready for PhD in Australia. So, and research experience, that's very easy. You can go in India, work anywhere for 6 months, do some internship, or get the research experience. That's very easy. I can understand nowadays, even you can do a voluntary work in any pharma industry. There are thousands of pharma industries in Hyderabad. You can do some internship and get some experience. And if you have an English, like TOEFL or IELTS, they're mostly accepting IELTS and TOEFL. So you're done and you're ready for the PhD in Australia. And how to apply? Go there. So when you go there, first you see the eligibility. So eligibility requirements, the research experience, you have a degree, and then English exam, that's it. And finding a supervisor, if your CV contains all these 3, like research experience, you got a good degree from the institute, and if you show them your English score, there are many professors that are ready to accept your application. So if nobody's accepting your application in my field, I can send it to many people. I know a lot of people in Australia, in especially in medicinal chemistry area. So it's very easy to get a PhD in Australia, and it's only for 4 years. I finished my PhD in 3 years and 6 months. So it's very easy and a very short time. So that's what I want to say about the Australia, and then they come to Canada. So I just go to the Google, ask the question, Doctor of Philosophy and Simon Fraser University. So it will direct you here, international admission requirements. So select your country here, international admission requirements, and then pop up India. Go there. So you can see the admission requirements. So admission requirements for the bachelor's, master's, and a doctoral degree program. So admission to a doctoral degree program. What do you need? You need a master's degree and with some research experience, and also English language proficiency test. So everywhere, I mean, in most of the English countries, so you need a research experience, a valid degree, and an English language test. Then you are ready for the PhD. Without these three, so you're not ready for the PhD. So that's what I want to say for today about PhD applications. And then I'll move on to postdoctoral fellowships. And so you must know postdoctoral fellowships if you are 5 years old after your PhD, so you're no longer eligible for the postdoctoral positions in Canada, because no any universities accepts you as a postdoc. Please know that. And basically I can share these links with you because you already done your PhD, you're good at searching, because you know how to search in databases. So there are a couple of places where you can search for a postdoctoral position. Number one is National Research Council Canada. They most of the pharmaceutical companies and institutions, they post their postdoctoral positions in that website. And there's a Canadian Association of Postdoctoral Scholars. That's the most useful one. We have a association. I'm also a member in the association where all the institutions, they post their vacancies in that website. That's the best one to search for. And the another one, the the organic chemistry portal, where you can find the postdoctoral positions existing throughout the world. And there's another one, MyTax postdoctoral fellowships in Canada. It's very competitive, but still they accept the international students. If you have a very good proposal, you can talk to the with MyTax. The many startup companies are linked to the MyTax, where you can directly approach the startup companies, and if they like your proposal, they will hire you directly. I'm also working under MyTax postdoctoral fellow with a startup company. So I've seen a lot of international students from India coming and with the excellent proposals. So you can also reach out there, and I think in LinkedIn you can find a lot of people. And for the postdoctoral fellow opportunities, I would say, like, look at your CV, look at your skills, what you can do basically. Look at the job requirements, then only just apply. Otherwise, like I've seen like people contacting like with the different background. It's not like, because postdoctoral fellowship, like they accept, they they don't want to train you here, so you should be ready for the work. So better you compare your skills with the job requirements before you apply for anything. I think that would be helpful. So if I have I already received a few CVs with the chemistry background. I'm ready to help the people with a similar background. It's easy for me. Yeah, that's all for today. Yeah, thanks everyone. So Yeah, you can ask me questions if you have any doubts.
Thank you, Srinivas. And yeah, it's a great presentation. And actually, you navigated through the process. That is really helpful. Now, I request students to ask questions and other mentors to join and make suggestions and comments on this. Yeah, floor is open for everyone. Please unmute yourself, speak, and again mute yourself so that we can have a clear conversation.
Hi, Srinivas Garu. Thank you very much. Can you go to your slide number 2, please? Yeah, slide number 2, one more up. Yeah, I just want to make sure that the students understand this 3 to 4 years rule. I think it's because even before you start your work, you are establishing a problem on which the research is going to be conducted. Am I correct? Is my understanding correct about it?
Yeah.
So a problem is already chosen here, and it's purely because of the person seeking PhD's interest. A problem is already established, and whereas in Canadian system, a problem is not established.
Yep.
So that might be one of the reasons why it takes a less time to complete a PhD. And the second reason is in Canadian system, we need to go through some coursework. And in Australian system, do we still need to go through a coursework?
No coursework. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the money interviews then the coursework.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
money is the first primary thing. I really, I can really connect with that. But in the two systems, I think it's just to let the students know that this 3 to 4 years is the timeline is being shown there, but there is some kind of pre-planning already done, which is very important in the PhD aspect. I just wanted to add that a problem is already selected for performing the research. Whereas in another education system in USA or even in Canadian system, that problem is chosen at a later stage after you do a coursework. So, but the final important thing is in 3 to 4 years, you get your PhD. That's the important thing. Yeah. I just wanted to add.
Yeah, that's right. And also like in Canada, I've seen like it's too much exploitation.
Yes, yeah.
It's too much exploitation. Like they know problem, they got the funding, they have the projects running, but it's too much exploitation I've seen here.
Sure.
People in chemistry work very hard, like came to the lab morning 7 o'clock and stay until late nights 11 o'clock, working like labor. I've seen a lot of people work with me.
Sure. Yeah.
Trust me, like it's very hard job. It's harder than the construction job.
Sure. Thanks.
And you need to, at the same time, we need to be very smart to make chemicals. And these people are like taking 10 years because the professors are not paying from their pocket, and their students are doing a TA to get their money. So professor is not responsible at all.
Okay.
If he's paying from his grant, then he'll think how long I need to pay for this person, like get rid of him. But you never think about that because he's not paying. That's what I understand.
There is one question from Dr. Bhaskar.
Sir,
Yes,
thank you very much, Srinivas Garu.
Yeah.
I just wanted that some information from you about the fee for the PhD program in Australia as well as in Canada. Is there any fee? What is the structure? Even if they get some fellowship, it is completely waived off.
Yeah, in Australia, all the fees are waived, but in Canada, no. For international students, there are no fellowships, basically. There are fellowships, but I would say it's like even if you apply, never get it. Even a very good CVs are not selected for any fellowships so far. I've seen a lot of people. So it's basically only doing TA. In Canada, it's a bit like I would say too much exploitation in chemistry in Canada. But if you still wanted to do, if someone wanted to do a PhD in Canada, welcome, you can do it. But you need to know, in advance. This is the situation.
Yeah. We have another comment from Sri.
Hi, actually, this is a good presentation. I have one question. The question is about the immigration. So once the grad studies or PhD is over, what's the grace period, or what's the next step for these students?
So in Australia, once you're done with your PhD, you will get 4 years of work permit. That's a visa. You can work for 4 years. And meantime, you will be the university alumni member. Once you have become a university alumni member in like three months after your PhD, you can apply for permanent residence in Australia under the category of university alumni. And also, if you're not interested, you can still work for 4 years in Australia. Your family can work. You have all the your kids are eligible for the free school, and you're eligible for the free health. So if you are not interested, that's a problem. But if you're interested, you can still apply for permanent resident. They'll accept it. It's a very easy program. And in Canada, you will get 5 years of work permit after PhD. And I think most of the people know. So Canadian permanent residency system it's a very easiest one. Once you're done with your studies in Canada, the immigration process, the permanent residency application goes based on the number of points. Once you're done your degree in Canadian University, you will get 600 points. So usually if you have 400 to 500 points, you will get a permanent residency in Canada. So once you're done with your PhD in Canada, you will get 600 points. So straight away you'll get permanent residency. That's the advantage. It's the only one advantage in Canada. Once you're done with your degree, you're right away you'll get the PR.
Actually, it sounds much easier when compared to US. Thank you.
Yes, that's why most of the people choose Canada for PhD only for the permanent residency, not for the degree.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sri, you have another follow-up question, Sri?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna drop down my virtual hand soon.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, Mahendra, please unmute yourself.
Yes, Ravi. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Srinivas, for your sharing your experiences with our students. Thank you so much, your Australia and Canada experiences. I have a couple of questions, and I also have some comments as well. I don't know much about Australia, but a few of my friends got their education from Canada. I have some experiences. So what I would like to say is Canada is a big country, huge country with a small market. And, that's what is one of the problems in Canada, where most of the economy is surrounded around Toronto on the East Coast and Vancouver, around Vancouver and British Columbia and in the West Coast. And I do not know how many universities you have seen that the chemistry students are being working like for 10 years for their PhD. Yes, I agree with you. You have to do, either you have to get a scholarship or you have to do a teaching assistantship to continue your PhD anywhere, like even in the US also. But in Canada, and the funding also is very low from the government funding for the scholarships. So lots of people who comes to the Canada for the PhD, either they pick their teaching assistantships or They come with some international scholarships. They're like, like what you said in the Google, make Google as your friend. You can find some of the good scholarships that like a Wellcome Trust Fund is funding some people all over the world. Human Frontier Science Program is also funding many Fulbright scholars. A bunch of them are there, but what you said is true. In my experiences, PhD is an independent training. It's not coursework, to be honest with you. And Canada, US, first 1 to 1.5 years, you have to take courses. That's what increases the length of your time. And you're doing teaching assistantship. If you have a teaching assistantship and you're taking courses and you're doing research, that means it's like, 24 hours is not sufficient. So you have to stretch out your time to do the PhD. And, being exploitation, again, PhD, finding a good advisor is one of the important things. Good lab, who is doing active research, rather than like, sometimes some advisors, what they do is they take the students and then student has to do everything and then they give the name and then move on. That's it. Some advisors, they really advise, they do supervise people, right? So these are the very important points you have to consider too. It's like you just file an application and you get the seat, you go. Some people have contacted me, some students contacted me, sir, I need to do the PhD. I got an admission there, but there is no funding. I would not recommend to join those places, because if there is no funding means that lab is not doing a real active research. And if they can't support you for the PhD, it's very difficult. You cannot put money from your pocket. It's not like a 6 month or 2 semesters or 4 semesters course. It's a multiple years course. And also, again, it's your work. How hard you work. I mean, like the harder you work, the quicker you can finish it. I mean, I've seen people finishing their PhDs 4 years to 7 years. And sometimes, when you're doing it part-time PhD, it may take 10 years too. So that's another thing. So, my question to you is, you said you have seen people doing 10 years, PhD for 10 years. Can you explain a little bit more on which university is that, how big is their lab and what kind of research are they doing? I mean, are they again, I don't say it's not possible. There are in the world some labs. I've seen people doing PhD longer times in biology rather than chemistry. Chemistry people are quite quicker. This is a little surprising to me. So I would like to hear a little bit more on that.
Okay. In chemistry in Canada, so most of the grants are in the asymmetric synthesis and the total synthesis, not with the methodologies. All these asymmetric synthesis and total synthesis groups are very big groups. Say, for example, my boss, he was a Merck chairperson. He worked in the Merck for 35 years. Right now, our lab is located at Osmania University Chemistry School. We have 35 million grants. We have PhD students working at year 7. Not only our group, there are many groups in our university.
I understand. Total synthesis is, yes, it takes time.
It takes
the
time.
synthesis, yes.
Yeah.
You take the molecule, you go with that like 20-step molecule or 30-step molecule. If you're stuck with one step, that's it. You have to start from the beginning.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
But in India, what happens if you're stuck in somewhere in the total synthesis? They will give you a PhD as towards total synthesis of XX.
Yeah.
But here, no, people are not giving like that.
Wow.
There are many excellent groups who publish publications in the Science, Nature, Cell. They have like minimum 10 million grants. Or like, I'm not talking about one group. I've seen a lot of groups. Situation is same thing. Even they have 10 million grants in their group. The student is doing TA.
Wow.
Yes, because there's a way professor can find, do your
Cheap
TA.
labor. Cheap labor, yeah.
Do your TA.
That's
2 days. Then work overtime in the lab to finish this.
Wow.
Because students are stuck in between the TAs and the work and the professor, because you can't deny anything. uh, professor words, because I need you have a committee meetings. Every committee meeting, your professor need to approve. Otherwise, you won't get your degree.
Yeah, true, true. Yeah.
It's a trap. It's a trap. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
big
so
trap.
yeah, this is a real good experience for the students
So
before they select
because
yeah.
see, I can tell it's very good country. You can do PhD, but I know the struggles.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends here, so I know like at least like 20 or 25
Yeah,
students.
yeah. There's
PhD
another question I
students.
have,
Yeah.
Srinivas. Other question is, yeah, Canada also is a bit diverse, I've heard. Like, let's take
And
Quebec.
also regarding the job opportunities in Canada, it's before COVID is different Canada, and after COVID is a different Canada.
I see.
So before COVID, there are only like hardly like 6 companies in Canada, like chemical companies, like CROs. Now we have more than 500 startup companies.
That's good to know. That's great.
Even with
So,
with the MITEX, we have like 300 companies in Vancouver, startup companies.
wow, I see. How about the Quebec? Do you know, like, is it different from the
Quebec,
rest of the Canada? Yeah.
Quebec is it's a funny state, I would say, because it's a French region basically. Everybody knows English, but no one wants to speak in English. So they're a bit rigid about language. The system there, postdocs, there are few postdocs, few postdoctoral positions at McGill universities usually, but those people are very big people in those universities. So they hire usually highly experienced postdocs, not the fresh postdocs.
How about the PhD? How about the PhD in Quebec?
PhD in Quebec, well, similar as like other states. But the good thing is the living expenses are very low in Quebec. So, but the system is same, like you need to do your TA and get the funding. Yeah, only good thing is like have a very, yeah, it's, I think you can find a 1-bedroom house for $400 in Quebec. Where in Vancouver you need to pay $2,000.
Yes.
So much difference, only the living expenses. Otherwise, it's all same. But another problem with the Quebec is after your education, you get only 3 years work permit, whereas in other states you will get 5 years.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I mean, it's another great experience for the students. So before you pick your area of research, all these things. But I think Venkatraman has a question, I guess. Venkat.
Also, I see Shyam. Is Shyam mentor?
Yes, I'm a mentor. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah. Please, Venkat first, and then Shyam, please.
Yeah, Venkatramana.
Yeah. Thanks, Mahendra. And first of all, thank you, Srinivas. Actually, it's a nice overview. And I have a couple of comments rather than questions. I think again, I think Dr. Mahendra mentioned it right. I think area of research matters when we choose professor, the area of interest also, that's related to how many years we need to spend in PhD. Again, depending on professor as well. Some professors are very active in doing research, and they also push graduate students to get it done quickly as well. So again, networking is the critical component. So we need to, when you are applying for certain universities, you need to connect to the current graduate students and try to know how many years each professor is taking, and how what are their active research areas and all those things. And I think again, networking matters. I agree with you. Google is your best friend. On top of that, I think networking also critical component to choose the right professor, right research area, and that will help in the long run.
Yeah, I've seen like the Google, people are posting about this professors, how long they take to give a degree for a PhD student. So I've seen that. Like you can find you type in the professor name and like look for how long it takes you to get the PhD. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, next is Shyam.
Hi everyone, this is Shyam from California.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's a nice presentation, Srinivas Garu. So I would like to add something
Shyam, is
about.
it first time or you already
No, I already
joined?
joined last time, right?
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So I would like to add something here. So I did my PhD from Germany. So in Germany, so basically it's same like Australia. Main thing is you need to have a research experience. And one good thing about Germany is, I mean, some universities, so that doesn't even require like English proficiency tests. So that's one of the biggest advantages. So
Do they
and
need any other language test or German?
no, you don't need any language test. I mean, they need so the mainly German system focuses on your research experience. If you have a good research experience from India,
Mhm.
so then that's the key for them. That's the best selling point actually. So that's why I advise students from India. So when you finish your masters, try to look for some project assistantships or project GRF positions, especially in reputed institutions like CCMB, CDFD, JNCSR, NCBS. So there are lots of research institutions. Every 6 months, they post these project assistantships or project GRF positions actually. So one of the biggest advantages with this positions is for me, I mean, I'll give my example. So I did my project. I mean, once after finishing my master's, so I worked in CCMB as a project GRF for 2 years. So when you work in these institutes, first thing is, I mean, you'll get very good training. And the other thing is, I mean, you'll get good connections actually. I mean, you don't have to work for 2 years. If you work for 1.5 years, 1 year is also fine. I mean, it all depends actually. But actually, the people from all over the world, like scientists from all over the world, will come there and give their presentations. Like CCMB had like every month or something, somebody from outside will visit CCMB and give a presentation.
Maybe
So that's
Sham,
been, yeah.
Sham, I
Yeah.
think can we have a session with your experiences, like the slides and thing? How
Sure.
did your CCMB experience help you? I think that's a good
Sure.
idea, because probably, you have a lot of experience. I
Yeah.
mean, you really worked on how to getting into the Germany. How did you get your fellowship, scholarship?
Yeah,
If you
sure.
can share those experiences on a one session, I think
Sure.
that really helps the students. And then if you can provide some additional information where to look for those scholarships,
Sure.
and then how did you get into CCMB, also one of the important points, CCMB or
Yeah.
IICD. So if
Yeah.
you can share those experiences, I think that helps. Is absolutely very important point mentioned by Shyam today. Guys, when all the MSc students from the campus or anywhere else in the state, just look immediately for, while right after you graduate, look for research opportunities around you, any institution or anything. Go and volunteer. First start with the volunteer for like every day, 2 hours, 3 hours, even when you're doing the masters. Work with the PhD students, work with the postdocs in the department or in the institutions, gain some experience. Once you show that you know something, then people will take you in 6 months to 1 year experience is a very valuable, a lot to get a PhD position in the foreign. Shan, continue. Sorry
Yeah.
for the interruption.
Yeah, it's fine. So basically, one advantage is, I mean, once you have this experience, so when you go for PhD, you are not new to any techniques, right? So then you know how to kind of select the lab. Once you have 2 years of experience during this term, like you'll learn everything, like how to pick the problem, how to approach the problem, and you'll have a good skill sets actually. So once you have that, then picking the PhD lab, it's very good actually. Then you'll have a good understanding of what research is. It's completely different ball game, right? So when you write out of your after your masters, you don't have any clue what exactly the research is and how to pick the lab and how to choose the research problem. But when you work for these institutes, so you'll gain all the skill sets. And once you join your PhD also, you'll have an advantage over the others because you already know the techniques and you already know how to approach the problem. You already know how to read the papers and how to interpret the data and what problems you have to choose, what kind of problems you encounter. You already know everything actually. So that will be a biggest advantage. So one other advantage is like if you want to go back to India and apply for faculty positions, so then you already have a connections there, right? Like if you work in a research institute for a couple of years, you already make connections there actually. So that connections really helps. I mean, I have seen some of my friends, I mean, who right after like finishing their PhD and doing a couple of years of postdoc, they went back because they already have connections there. So that connections really helped them for getting the academia jobs actually. So that's also one of the advantage. And then when it comes to the money also, so in Germany, so they pay you very good actually, especially if you get a good fellowship. So they pay you around, I mean, it was like, I did my PhD from 2011 to 14. So at that time, they used to pay around like 1,500 euros actually. And there are no taxes, and hardly you spend like probably, and they'll give you accommodation as well. It was like 200 to 20 euros actually for the accommodation. So you spend all like hardly like 500 euros or something, not more than that actually. So you'll have a good savings as well. So these are the few points I would like to add. So main thing is, I mean, look for project GRF and project assistantships actually. So that's the key.
Yeah, that's a good one. And would like to add for those with the chemistry background, the one IICT, the next to the CCMB. So they usually had a lot of project assistants. Yeah, they usually keep notifications in their website, and if any interested students in chemistry, they want to do the any work as a project assistant, please let me know. Yeah, because I have a lot of contacts with IICT Hyderabad. I worked there before. I have friends who are faculty at IICT right now. I can recommend. There are some interviews they'll conduct, but nowadays they'll hire a lot of people like with minimum experience, because not many people studying chemistry nowadays.
That's very nice of you, Srinivas.
Yeah.
That's a real good help. Our students really need the recommendations to join some
And if
laboratories.
anybody wants to work in Pune, like National Chemical Laboratory, and if you want to travel there, please let me know, because my brother is a senior scientist and professor over there in NCL. He's a chemistry professor, so I can recommend to him as well.
So students, you listen to this, IICT, Sham is from, Sham has experience from CCMB, IICT, NCL, Pune, IISc, Bangalore. Don't be, scared to go out of the Hyderabad. Gain the experience. It doesn't matter which city you're going. Your experience matters a lot to just come out of the country, and that helps a lot to excel yourself.
Yeah, that's right, because you need to have some experience. These people want experience after masters, so you need some experience. Lab experience, yes. Absolutely.
Also, Dr. Bhaskar from CSR lab in Dehradun, he also offered if students are interested to go there and work. Of course, you need to work hard. There are no shortcuts in this, but he's also willing to support. Bhaskar?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely no issue. And as Shyam and Srinivas Garu mentioned about NCL, IICT, but even if any other laboratory also in India, I can connect to them. 37 labs are there, so I can connect to them.
Yeah, and Ravi Garu, I'll talk to my brother and let him connect as well. So he will be so helpful, because he got connections everywhere throughout the India. Like he's a good guy. He's a big guy.
Students, you see, there is a lot of help for you here. Everyone is willing to help, and they have contacts. All you need to do is step up your game. So you need to prepare yourself and ask what you need, where you want to go, and go there and work hard. And that is the passport for you to come to US or any other country and do your research and shine like a star. Okay. So please contact all these people. If you need any help to connect to them, please message me. I will connect to all of these people. Okay, go ahead.
Ravi Garu, I'll ask my brother to give a presentation.
Excellent. Yeah, definitely. That will. What is
so that people can directly meet him at NCL. They want any.
What is his name?
His name is Ravinder. I can type in here.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir. I would like to ask a question.
Go ahead.
So actually, I have come in 2017, way back. It's been long, very long. And immediately after completing my master's, I started teaching in a college. And during my master's, I actually took up the opportunity. One of the scientists from IICT had come for our Viva, and I asked him because I was very much inclined towards doing PhD immediately, but I did not clear my exam. And that's how I joined into teaching. I went to IICT, I worked for a few months, but it was not for dissertation work. It was just to get, it was in the sense volunteering kind of work, sir. Setting up reactions or running the TLC plates and columns, checking or using certain kinds of instruments. So I don't have any certificate for that or anything for that. And apart from that, I don't have any other research experience. Will it be considered as a research experience, sir?
Can you repeat your question, Nutan? I just did missed. So someone
Yes,
IICT.
sir. Most of the institutes, they require research experience. And I don't think I have any research experience. Means I don't have any document to produce. Whatever research experience I have just worked there for 2 to 3 months during my summer vacation. And I do not have any dissertation or thesis kind of thing, the way M Pharmacy or B Pharmacy students have it. So
you have completed your master. You have completed your master's or PhD?
No, I have not completed my PhD. I have just completed my master's, and that too in 2017, sir. It's been very long that I have completed, but
after that,
recently after that,
do you have any certificate he gave you when you did?
No, sir. Actually, I was only given one identity card, and that ID card is also no more there with me.
It's not a problem. You can still ask him. You can still ask him a certificate or recommendation letter if he can give. Like
I asked him. So what sir said was then he, as it is not your
which institute it is, like IICT Hyderabad or where?
It was IICT Hyderabad, sir.
What's his name?
Dr. Nagaya, sir.
Narendra?
Nagaya.
Dr. Nagaya.
Okay, Dr. Nagaya. Okay.
You worked in his lab for how long?
2 to 3 months, sir.
Oh, 2 to 3 months. That's an
Dr. Nagaya is still there. You can get the certificate.
Okay. But what sir said was then, you have, as it was not for a longer duration, Nutan, and the work was not that considerable. So maybe we cannot give it. Actually, the ID card was also kept by him for the very same reason.
I understand the problem. You can still ask for a reference letter if he is able to give a reference letter as you.
Yeah. He's ready to give reference letter.
That should be enough, and you can get the letter. That should be fine because that's what you want. And people like don't want to give a big certificate as you worked and so project, because you need authorship in that work or publication. So you try to claim that. I mean, generally people think about that. That's what they don't want to say, like you worked on so project, and she worked for like how long, because if you worked on that project, and your name should be there in the project, like if that work already published. So that's a problem. But if he is able to give the reference letter, it should be fine, I think so.
Yeah, he has agreed to give reference letter, but I was feeling like a layman. Actually, I started to think about going abroad for PhD recently. Yeah. I'm very fortunate enough that ma'am remembered, means I want to do it, and then she immediately forwarded this link to me, and I could attend it. The last time I was happy, but then again the viral fever attacked me and the process stopped.
yeah, in the way back also was also in the same situation. I worked for like close to 2 years in a chemistry lab in ISCT. I got a certificate, but my name was not on the publication of that work. Some professors in ISD do like that.
Yeah.
They're not much professional, but they're good at giving a recommendation letters that works very well.
Reference letters are more than sufficient. I mean, if
Yeah.
you gain a publication, that's really great.
Yeah.
If not, the reference letter, just they have to mention, like, how many months you worked and what kind of techniques you have worked. If you can write 2-3 sentences, that's more than sufficient for anything. But you said you had worked only 3 months, right? If you get a chance, I would recommend you to work another 6 months or a year. So, I mean, that's most important for getting. I mean, that improves your chances of getting a PhD positions in abroad. Absolutely.
Yeah, one more thing is basically, so you can write you can reach out to people, let's say in Germany or Sweden. So you can directly email them and then kind of draft an email nicely saying that you are like first thing is actually why you want to do your PhD. So you have to kind of explain it nicely. Actually, you have to kind of lay out the draft in a way that it will convince people. So if you can do that, and then step by step, so what expertise you have, so and what's the problem you're trying to answer. I mean, read those publications and then try to get some sense out of it, and then kind of lay out the problem. And so the main people, what they look for is basically they look for how interested you are, and what kind of skill sets that you bring in, and then whether you're honest or not. So that's what they look for when you apply for PhD positions. I mean, if you can convince them with your skill sets, actually, especially the way you draft your email, so that will kind of easily get you a PhD. Actually. Yeah.
Also, if you
Very well.
remember in the first session, Bhumika from Delhi University, she did a small period of research in IICT and with Dr. Narendra, and with that recommendation letter, she got admission in Rutgers University in New Jersey. So it happens. Just you need to try. Whatever skills and recommendation letter or reference you have, with that you can move on. You will get it.
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
Go ahead, Shyam. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I have seen people writing 200, 300 emails to professors. After that, they got 1 PhD positions. So you have to continuously reach out, actually. So you have to see, I mean, you have to continuously keep on looking for these positions and then reach out to the professor directly, kind of draft an email nicely. So I'm sure if you write 100 emails, then probably 1 or 2 might respond, and then you never know, right? So they will take you without having research experience also.
Yeah, Shyam summarized very, very well, actually. So they are looking what skill set you have, how honest you are, how interested you are. So once you lie, that's it, you lost your chance. Let's say if you don't have experience in running a TLC, you say, I know it, and you were not able to perform or you're not able to explain it, you lost a chance. Keep that in mind. You have to be honest completely. And then, don't show over experience that you don't have any. Just show them, explain them whatever you have experienced, but tell them that I am a quick learner. I'm very much interested to learn. I'm a hardworking student that I can learn quickly from you. That's what is most important. And also, Shyam mentioned another thing, professors writing 200 to 300 emails. Yes, absolutely. Professors here, average small assistant professor in the US receives 200 to 500 emails a day from all sorts of things. And then he has to catch your email. And then busy professors receive even more than that. So a catchy subject line, and you have to really work on that, small paragraph with 4 to 5 sentences. They don't have time to read 1-page email. They have only limited amount of 30 to 40 seconds to read your email, understand it, and get what you're trying to say there. So you have to be precise, and that's where you have to show your interest. That's what is also most important thing.
Yeah, Mahendra, I want to add something here. If I were you, basically contact in LinkedIn, because they won't get 200 messages on LinkedIn. So basically people get a lot of emails, but not a lot of messages on the LinkedIn. So try to contact the people on the LinkedIn. That's the most faster way than the email.
Yeah, another thing, actually, this is Venkat. Another thing I would like to add is that I think the important thing is in the subject line. I think you need to have something like specifics. So I think that's important. Based on the subject line, probably they may be interested to read your email.
Yeah. So one thing I would like to add is basically the subject line. You should not mention like regarding the PhD position or regarding this so and so fellowship. So what you should mention is interested in your lab work or like interested in your research problem. So when you mention that, it's more catchy, right? Whenever a PI sees that, okay, he's not interested in a position. I mean, he's interested in my research work. So that's how people will kind of you'll attract them, right? So whenever you apply for a position, don't mention that you are looking for this position, or whenever you reach out to a professor. So you should not mention like you are looking for this position, you are looking for a PhD position. Mention you are interested in this research problem, in his research problem, like whatever the problem might be. Like you are interested in cancer immunology, particularly in this field or something. So when you mention that, then the people are like very happy. Okay, you are genuinely interested in this research problem. You are not looking for a job, but you are looking for a research problem to answer, actually. So that's a one.
Yeah, I agree. And also knowing about the research also important, and like summarizing, like in a couple of lines, how you are interested, because of that indicates that if you really read their papers and if you summarize briefly, and that will also help.
Yeah. So one more thing is basically whenever you want to kind of draft an email about the research, about like process research or something. So what you have to do is basically you have to look at his recent publications and then go to the discussion session, actually. So the discussion part is where the scientists will leave the open-ended questions, like what they want to pursue in future. So that from that where like you can pick up the research question, actually. And then you can mention that, okay, you are looking at I mean, you did so and so things, and then you want to look at these things in future. So I would like to add my expertise to this in studying or in approaching this research problem. So that would be kind of nice to have, actually. So go look for these labs recent publications and go to the discussion session. So that's where all the professors will leave open-ended questions, what they would like to work in future. So what are the interesting aspects about the research?
Okay.
Yeah, have more questions from students, please.
Hi, Shamwar. I just posted a link in the meeting chat. My brother's research lab link at NCL Pune. So if anybody interested, like want to work with Dr. Ravinder at NCL Pune, reach him or reach me. I can help them. Yeah. You find the link in the meeting chat.
Yep, that's great discussion. And students, anyone have any questions? Otherwise, Mahendra?
Yes, Ravi. So, yeah, I can just summarize today's session. So what we can do is, let's do it. So what we learned today is also important. Srinivas' experience is very, very helpful for the students. He's not only focused on what to do, how to do things to get a PhD admission, but also you focused on once you get in there, what kind of problems you're going to face, how you have to survive, what you have to do. So that's very important. I received messages from the students saying that, sir, today I've decided to do my PhD in medicinal chemistry and abroad only. I'm firm on that. But when I asked them, like, yes, do you really know what is medicinal chemistry? They have no idea. They just come out of the coursework. So first, you have to do some research, some kind of a homework. Just don't go for the fancy titles. Organic total synthesis. I'm decided to do a PhD in organic total synthesis. So I have noticed one thing that from our chemistry graduates, once they pass out their MSc, they think organic chemistry is the only chemistry exists in the world. Please come out of that myth. That's not the only thing. And then just you have seen Srinivas explain total synthesis labs, how long it is taking to do PhD, how much hard you have to work in there. There are so many other material sciences there. That's really, chemistry is all over, not only biology, into biology and medicinal chemistry. Look, and yes, of course, you can do medicinal chemistry, but you have to understand the reality also important. That's one of the important point that I would like to mention. Think about it. Just don't dream. Think about the reality.
Yeah, that's right,
one.
Mahendra. That's right, Mahendra. Because, so, you know, when you look at my profile, I did bachelor's in pharmacy, and now I'm in a chemistry lab. So
explore, expand your skill set. Yes,
I'm completely a multidisciplinary person. I do lots of biology. I do lots of senses. So don't think like you have the chemist only do the chemistry. Like you can do many things. You can learn many things.
Yeah, so that's one point, because you know, not only the software. So you know, software people, they say software updates every day, every month, every week. You have to learn some new language, blah blah blah. Right? Science is also drastically changing every time. It's now in the new world. So you have to acquire new skill sets, because, you know, back in the days, 10, 20 years ago, when I was working at IICT, so you have to run a TLC and you have to run a column manually. But nowadays, flash chromatography systems are out there. People in the US, very few, very low, mostly 90-95%, they just throw their compound on a flash chromatography system and then it will run the column for you. So you have to learn new techniques. So that's what is the thing I'm trying to say. The second thing is Shyam pointed out very, very nice points today. So from his experiences and what he explained about how to reach out to the professors, keep those points. Just don't dream. And, you know, if you write one single sentence, copy and paste the same thing to every professor, that's it. You're losing your opportunities one after one. You have to spend at least half an hour to 1 hour, or maybe more than that, before you write to any professor. Read his literature, read his research, write it. We are here to help you. So if somebody wants to review, edit your email before you send out to the professor. Recently, I worked with one of the PhD scholars from chemistry department to make her CV and cover letter. From past 2 weeks, I worked with her. So her resume looks perfectly fine to apply for postdoctoral positions. So back and forth. I asked her to send me the resume. I reviewed and edited. I asked her to put XYZ points. She did it. And I asked her more points. That's how she's ready to apply. So this is what we can help you here to mentor, and all other mentors as well. So just don't like, no, I'm decided, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do, no. You have to do some homework before you decide. All right. So these are the messages that I would like to mention from today's session. So we will have more sessions from following weeks. I'm happy to listen to other mentors if anyone has any comments. Otherwise, we can conclude the session today.
One quick update, and also I request mentors to speak. I'm trying to match students to mentors. Some students they seems approach to mentors. So if you are approached by any student, and if you are working with the student, please let us know here, so that will be helpful for everyone to find the direction. So if anybody mentors got any calls or messages from students and you started working with them, you can mention here.
Sir, recently, maybe last 2-3 months back also, we had some program.
Yes.
Because of that network, one of the Telugu guy applied for the project work with my group in IIT. And I have taken him and he joined my group.
Excellent. Thank you. So is he doing well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's very important. Yes. Anyone?
It is on the advanced biofuels. Not the hardcore organic chemistry, but it is on the energy related biofuels.
See, Bhaskar, sir, that is the hot research. That's the latest research, biofuels. It's emerging research. So look into these kind of opportunities, and then there's going to be a lot of industrial job opportunities in biofuels. Like many companies are coming out.
Yeah, I have 2-3 requests ready from USA. 3 of my postdocs in a 3 months, 3 of my students, PhD students landed in USA, and I have 2 more requests, but I don't have students who are ready to take up those positions.
Yeah, I got requests from a couple of students. Like one is Jayashree. She wants to do her PhD in microbiology, and then one more is Vijay. So he has a MSc in chemistry. He wanted to do PhD in pharmacoinformatics, but I don't have that experience. So if somebody is willing to help him, so that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we are starting afresh, every subject for that matter means few research publications or the literature work in the starting, whatever we have to do, we have to read the research publications and then write the summary of it. So during that time, at times we are unable to decide which subject is good. So which one should do you suggest that we should go for? Most probable. And should the research experience be related to the work that we want to do in future? These two questions, sir. One is at times we get confused after reading many research publications. We are unable to refine our particular area. As in you said, we want to do it in medicinal chemistry or theoretical chemistry. But pinpointedly, how do we choose that? I wanted to know that. And the other thing is, sir, first, please tell me answer for this question, then I'll ask once again.
Yeah, I can answer your question. You can see, first start reading some articles in general, based on your coursework or your interest. Start reading them, try to understand what's happening, what's going on in there. So based on that, you'll get an idea. And your experience, right? You said you may get confused reading many papers. Yes, if you read many papers, you'll get information from many different areas, and then you have a chance of picking one that is most interested for you or most opt for your experiences or your interests or your, anything else, right? I would recommend start reading some of the articles, right? And your second question, you may get confused to join. I mean, do you have to join the same type of research area that you read from the publication? I mean, in the US, you have opportunity to, if you come for a PhD in the US, you have opportunity to pick your own area once you come here. You don't really have to stick with one. And then also, you will have up to first 1.5, 2 years. Within 1.5, 2 years, you can switch between the labs as well. So it all depends.
So this is Venkat. Actually, I don't think you need to stick with the same area, where you had some experience for a couple of months. I don't think that matters. What it matters is, I think, finding your passion and reading literature and understanding your interest, and I think that's what it matters, in my opinion.
So actually, I tried to get few research positions, as Bhandari sir said, you look out for any opportunity available to volunteer. So I used to attend interviews at IICT, and also CCMB had conducted one written exam that I qualified with good grade, but I did not have research experience. Maybe in that field, was it due to that reason, or maybe I was not able to sell myself properly then? I was doubtful about it. So even now,
yeah, go ahead.
Even now, I am interested to join some research area, but pharmaceutical labs I never thought of joining. Even I am teaching even now. Apart from that, no research experience I have, sir. There is a gap, I feel. Only the practicals which we make the students do in the college, that's all. Apart from that, no other coursework.
Yeah, you can directly send emails to scientists at CCMB. So they'll definitely respond. I mean, let's say if you email like 20 people, then definitely 4 or 5 people will respond. So tell them, I mean, you are interested in doing PhD in, but you don't have the right research experience. So you want to gain research experience. So then definitely they will kind of. So you cleared the CCMB entrance examination?
Yes, sir. Not this time. Just as when I was a fresher, when I completed my masters, that time I was trying very hard to get into
Okay.
some research institute, good research institute then, instead
Yeah.
of laboratories and college. But later I joined here in college.
So the thing is, same thing happened with me. So when I cleared this examination, so after that, I mean, you have to think like there will be like hundreds of students who clear that examination, right? So you have to kind of outsmart them actually. So what I did at that time was I started kind of, once I cleared my examination, I started kind of reaching out to the scientists already. So I started emailing them, okay, I kind of cleared this examination and I'm interested in your lab. So that's when you'll get direct connect, right? And then so otherwise if you directly go for the interview, I mean, it depends actually. Sometimes you crack the interview and sometimes you're not, right? So but you already kind of, you personally email them and explaining about your interest in the lab. So that's when you'll already have a connect, right? So when you go for interviews, so then you already have bonding there actually. You already kind of conveyed your message to the scientists. So then when you go for the interview, so then you'll have an edge over the others. So try to kind of start making the like sending the personal emails actually. Yeah, that would help actually.
Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to the research problem, selecting the research problem, so I would like to advise you like start reading the reviews. So when you read the reviews, so you'll get, let's say if you're interested in cancer biology, so like pick the recent reviews in cancer biology, and then if you read a couple of reviews, then you'll easily get the idea where the field is going, and then what's the problems that they are trying to address, what are the unanswered questions that they have. So that's when you can decide your research question.
And sir, whenever we are reading these research publications, if at all we get doubts, as Srinivas sir said, we need to make Google our friend. Is it correct, or is there any other chance? Is there any other way by which we could clear those doubts of ours?
Yeah, basically when you Google any problem, you'll end up getting some answers. But for the research purpose, especially for the research articles, yeah, you may or may not access to the articles sometimes. So if you don't have access to the article, please reach out to us so we can send you the articles.
So one more point I would like to add is basically whenever you go for like reading the research articles or something, don't go for like high-end publications like Cell, Nature, Science. So there the kind of language is very tough to understand initially. I mean, if you don't have any reading experience, and then the data, what they show is very complicated there. So it's very tough to kind of read those kind of publications initially. So you have to pick research journals where the language is easy to understand, where they have a good story. Especially, I would like to advise you, especially people from a biology background, you should start reading JBC papers. So JBC is a high impact journal, like Journal of Biological Chemistry. It's a very reputed journal, and when you read those papers, you'll easily understand it. They have a very good story, and they only accept papers if the story is novel actually. So if you can read those papers, that would be great. I mean, it's easy to read and understand actually JBC papers. So if you start reading like Cell, Nature, Science, or high-end publications, it's I'll tell you, I mean, initially it will be very tough to understand actually. So it will make things more complicated than easy. Pick those journals. Yeah, pick those journals which are like
start with the simple journals. Yeah, start with the simple journals you're reading, then increase the complexity of the journals, and then you can reach out to the mentors. Which one, like Sean already suggested, that JBC is one of them. American Chemical Society journals, you can go through them. Some of them are very good. And there's one magazine, Chemical Engineering and News. I mean, I think that's the best place to start with. I don't know. I mean, you get it with the ACS membership. And Ravi, I think we should talk about this to get these couple of magazines to the department library. Let's talk offline about it.
Yeah. So one more thing is, I mean, if you are on Facebook, so there's a group called STEMpeers, STEMPEERS, STEMpeers. So it's started by IISc postdoc. So he's currently he's an entrepreneur, and then he's also working for some company. So it's a kind of a hub. It's a place where you get like a lot of this requests for people looking for PhD positions, and you can ask whatever questions you want. Actually, that's also one of the good platforms for especially for postdocs. If you are looking for postdoc positions, then you can post there actually your expertise and what area you are looking for. So there are a lot of scientists there and a lot of postdocs, a lot of people who are working in industries like US, Canada, you name it. Actually, it's a very big group now. So it's been started by a postdoc from IISc, and right now I think it has more than probably 10,000 members in it. Actually, STEM peers.
Yep, this is another very good example. You can utilize social media for a good reason also.
Yeah.
There are some bunch of Twitter groups, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups are there. You can get lots and lots of information. Make use of them for a good cause. So STEM peers, there are some scholarship groups out there on Facebook. Cool, Ravi, you can take over now. I think
there is one question from student. He wants to do PhD in pharmacoinformatics. I'm not sure. I will try to search through our mentors list if anyone has.
Ravi, I can talk to him, Ravi, on WhatsApp. I asked him to reach out to me.
Yeah, Vijay. Yeah, you already responded to him. Very good. Okay, Vijay. So you can talk to Mahendra, or you can send your request to me. Mahendra is also in the group, so you can message in the group and he will take it from there. Okay. Thank you, Mahendra. Okay. And go ahead, Mahendra. Anyone else?
Yeah, just let's conclude the session. I think we had a very good session. Thank you so much for all the mentors and students.
Great. Yeah, thank you all. It's a great session, and we will continue in the same path, explaining each step in one session. Probably we can take how to prepare the resume in the next session, depending on which mentor would like to lead the discussion and make a presentation on it, giving some examples of the best, type of resume templates. So let's take it from there. Okay. Today's presentation showing the Australia and Canadian opportunities is really good. And next, we are also looking at Germany related opportunities. We have two people who have expertise in that. And then probably we can also discuss on US based programs, what kind of programs opportunities we have in US as well. Since we have a lot of mentors in US, so that should not be a problem. But looking at other country opportunities is sometimes easiest way to get into the, outside of India, and then from there you can go anywhere. So Australia seems to be a easier one at this moment, and we still need to learn more about Germany opportunities in the next couple of sessions. Okay, so that sounds like a great plan. And Nutan, please talk to the mentors and make your way. So it looks like you have passion, and you have right skills also. You should take it forward. Okay.
Yeah, sir. Right. Thank you very much. I am really feeling very fortunate enough since the last week onwards. And I'm very grateful to my teacher also who forwarded me this link. Sir, I would also like to know the language test that we will have to attempt. Means in one session we could take that also. That will make us aware.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Thank you all. And I will post this recorded session in the group so that whoever could not attend today also review it, and we will meet again in the next session. Good night for participants in India, and have a great weekend Sunday to participants from US and other countries. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.